It's time for Pond of the Dead. Join us!
Hello and welcome to Pod of the Dead, the internet horror film club that nobody asked for. I am your humble curator, Nicholas.
And I am your final girl, Natasha. On this week's episode, we are going to be discussing 1983's Videodrome.
Come to me. Don't keep me waiting. Please.
Videodrome. The most provocative motion picture experience of our time. From David Cronenberg, the creator of Scanners. Starring James Woods and Deborah Harry. First it controls your mind, then it destroys your body. Videodrome, coming soon to a theater near you from Universal Pictures.
Videodrome is a Canadian science fiction body horror film written and directed by David Cronenberg, starring James Woods, Sonia Smits, and Debbie Harry. It is set in Toronto during the early 1980s and follows a CEO of a small television station who stumbles upon a broadcast signal of snuff films. Layers of deception and mind control conspiracy unfold as he attempts to uncover the signal's source, complicated by increasingly intense hallucinations that cause him to lose grip on reality.
So going into today's, this week's homework, what is your history with this film, if you have any?
I knew nothing about it and thought it was a completely different movie upon starting it.
What movie did you think it was?
I thought it was VHS.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I can see that.
Solely based on the name.
Yeah. I mean, you told Drew that you were going to watch this, and what was his response?
Oh, he was like, is that a porn?
And your response was?
It is surprisingly sexual. But you're not too far off.
Yeah. I saw this movie, I think it was like 10.
Jesus Christ.
I was pretty young.
Wow.
Rewatching this for the podcast, I've seen this a handful of times, but it has been like 10, 15 years since I have seen it. But this was like the first time I've watched it since being really hyper aware of my tastes through growing up, and watching this going like, oh, this all makes sense. Nick saw this way too young, and it imprinted on me hard.
This is the source of why you are you now.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know how I saw this. This was not a movie that I saw at grandma's or anything like that, but it's just one of those things that's just like, oh yeah, I think I saw this before The Fly. Like, I have always kind of seen Videodrome. Like, it's weird. I don't fucking know how. Maybe it was just, maybe I got it beamed into my brain.
Something.
I don't know. So who fucking knows?
God, that's nuts.
So today we are recording in the Heathen Temple Studios. So this is our first episode actually being together. So
yeah.
If there's any overlaying on audio, we apologize now. We're doing our best. This is definitely flying by the seat of our pants in that category. So that being said, you have to keep your eyes off of that monitor there for some of this stuff. Otherwise, you will find out some stuff that you're not supposed to. That being said, 1983, Videodrome, right?
Yes.
So this came out the same year that The Keep, Cujo, Christine, Sleepaway Camp, Stephen King's The Dead Zone, which was also directed by David Cronenberg, Psycho 2, Amityville 3D, the Twilight Zone movie, all sorts of shit came out in 83. Also, the films that came out this year, like the big budget ones, the top 10 was National Lampoon's Vacation,
Oh,
right? Mr. Mom, Risky Business,
okay.
Staying Alive, Octopussy, which is a James Bond film.
Okay.
I just love the fact that there was a movie just called Octopussy out and it made bucks.
No one batted an eye at the name.
War Games, Trading Places, Flashdance, Tootsie, and the number one film for the year was Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Really
That is quite the eclectic top 10.
Really funny thing, David Cronenberg turned down the offer to make Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi in order to make this film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this movie has like some interesting ties. Like, so Rick Baker is our special effects guru master in this film. He had done special effects work in the first two Star Wars films.
Oh.
He has also done an insane amount of movies. He started out in 1972. From there on, he did the special effects work in It's Alive from 74. The Star Wars first and second film, Empire Strikes Back. He did American Werewolf in London in 81. The Thriller music video in 1983. Harry and the Hendersons, 1987.
Okay.
Ringing a bell?
TV series, right?
No, it's John Lithgow and a Sasquatch that they find.
Okay. Right.
He also did Batman Forever.
Wow. He has quite the resume.
Men in Black.
Okay.
And his most recent one that you may know is How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he did the special effects on that.
Wyatt went through a phase with that movie. It was all he ever wanted to watch.
He went through a phase?
Yeah.
What kind of phase?
Like a Grinch phase. Like that's all he wanted to watch.
Oh, okay. He wasn't coming in the living room and stuff and be like, Mom, I found the love of my life.
No, not that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it was I found the love of my life and it's the Grinch.
And it's Max the dog. Not the Max from this film. So, yeah. This movie, 1983, directed by David Cronenberg. I'm getting there. David Cronenberg started directing in 1966. That's when he started doing short films and the like. And
he was just a baby.
Then,
yeah,
like most people are in the past, they're younger then than they are now. But 1966 he starts getting notoriety and stuff though in the 70s. He directed the film Rabid in 77, The Brood in 79. Scanners was like his explosion, LOL, ha ha ha, into homes in 1981. The Dead Zone, 1983, The Fly in 86, Dead Ringers in 88, Crash in 96, A History of Violence in 2005, and most recently he did Crimes of the Future in 2022. He is also the father of Brandon Cronenberg, which is one of your boys.
Yeah.
So without David Cronenberg's weirdness, you do not get Brandon Cronenberg.
See, I think I just need like second generation Cronenberg. That's my level of weird.
You need your Cronenberg cut. You can't have straight Cronenberg.
Nope.
Too much Cronenberg.
Bad things to my body.
He does bad things to a lot of people's bodies.
That's true. It's kind of his thing.
Yeah. So, all right. Budget. What do you think? This was also his first major release, like from a production house. Like this was Universal.
Okay.
So what do you think? 1982 would be when they were shooting it. I believe we were watching the thing and they said it was shot between October and Christmas Eve of 82. Like
hard deadline.
Like they're trying to be humane and have the holidays off. What do you think?
Which I think is sweet. Is this considered a low budget? Or no, since it's technically with a bigger studio.
80s. It's 80s horror.
Okay.
The special effects budget was like $500,000.
Oh, and see, that's what I would have put all of my millions and millions.
So there you go.
Into. It was only half, and then there really isn't much else to it. I'm gonna say $2 million.
The budget for this film was $4.1 million.
Oh.
Now, having watched the movie, we literally just watched it. This is the first time that we've watched it. We did our research like in a couple hours, watched some documentaries and stuff like that, and then now we're recording. In that amount of time, do you think this film was a success or a failure? Do you think that it made its money back or missed? And if so, how much did it make?
I think it, man, the 80s were a weird time. I think it made profit. So on 4.1, it made a profit. We'll say it, small profit. It made 5.
5. This was considered a failure. It made $2.1 million.
Oh.
So, yeah, but again, this is one of those films that it made its money, though, in the home market. Once it got on VHS tapes, not the Betamax that is shown in this film, but once it got into homes and stuff like that, then that's where it started becoming Videodrome.
Okay.
You know, and like we watched the Criterion collection version of this. It's like a 4K scan. It's really pretty. It's like, it looks like it was just shot yesterday. Yeah. I want to get this on VHS to have that film grain to just really lean into it.
Yeah.
Because, but even that being said, this movie is so beautifully shot and everything. Whether you like the story or like what you're seeing, the fact that like with all the special effects going on, you're not seeing the strings.
Yeah.
Even with it being so cleaned up, like the grain of VHS and stuff isn't like all that. Like there are like the hand and the gun when like that scene is happening where they're becoming one.
Oh yeah.
That it like you can kind of tell whatever. But like for the most part, it's just like, holy shit, this looks fucking cool. This is great.
Yeah.
There's literally almost no CG in this movie, which is obscene.
And my head just automatically thinks a lot of it is CG.
Yeah.
That's what it is nowadays. You don't think that it's somebody actually doing the thing that we're watching. Which is so nuts.
And like hearing Rick Baker talk about like that they were just like, oh yeah, you can do this. And he's like, I have no idea what you're fucking talking about. And they just had to make it work. Hey, we need you to make this fucking television that's going to pulse and gyrate and stuff. And they're like, all right, we'll figure it out. Like, I guess. Because, like this was considered the golden age of special effects makeup. So every writer and director and stuff was just like, they can do anything. Yeah. And then it's just like, okay, we need the television to start expanding while a face is getting pushed into it. Well, all like literally,
and it's not just one thing expanding, it's waves of things in multiple spots and expanding on all ends and doing things that a solid doesn't do.
I don't know. The 80s were weird, right? This is what they see. This came out before I was born. I don't know what it was like. You know, I was born 2 years later. Maybe this is what 1983 was like. I don't know.
That's very true.
This is what the America Reagan wanted.
I think this is one of the furthest things from the America Reagan wanted.
Oh, yeah. So the film suffered from cuts when it was put into theaters due to a studio executive who disliked sex toys. And the ratings problem with the MPAA, all the cut footage was restored for the unrated video release. Okay. So, like, this movie is psychosexual to the gills. And this, like, Puritan asshole's just like, no. But instead of shelving it, he's like, just cut the shit out of it and fucking put this thing out. And I can't imagine going to see this cut up. Because
it's such a big component of the movie.
Yeah. That would be really fucking strange. I don't even understand what that would be. I'm going to have to find the PG cut.
Oh, God.
The G cut.
Wow.
Double feature with Land Before Time.
Oh, there you go. It's quite the night.
Long live the Littlefoot. So, so I'm going to butcher this name. David Cronenberg, who appears as a Japanese porn dealer in this film, later became a minister in the Ontario provincial government. His appearance in this controversial film as a pornographer was exploited in his opposition when he was running for governor.
I heard about that. And just the thought of like, that's what they're using as their like smear campaign is this scene.
David has watched Videodrome. Do you know where your kids are? I just can't imagine.
Oh man. And I can only imagine like the way that political commercials go, and it'd just be so outlandish.
Oh,
it's
God.
not just him acting as a porn dealer, like he's an actual porn star director.
It's just the scene from it, and you know that it would just be like, so David, and then it just like goes to the negative. Sell pedals porn, because they would say pedals.
Pedals.
Is this the guy that you want to run the sewage industry? I guess kind of. I don't know. Like maybe. I don't know. So, there's a lot. Like I would highly suggest. Like I cannot do this movie service about talking about its special effects without having. If you get to watch this, I highly suggest watching the features on like the Criterion Collection one, because all the interviews with Rick Baker and stuff, the amount of work and stuff that they did to do all this stuff, like you got to think, this is 1983. The fuck? Like this is before The Fly. This is, when he was making this, fucking John Carpenter was making The Thing. Like, these films were coming out and just going to ruin people.
Yeah. What a time.
What a time to be alive. And then I was born and everything went downhill. So.
All because of you.
Yeah, it is always because of me. But, this is a film that I had a hard time bringing this up to our executives here at Pot of the Dead, but they were like, you know what? It's been long enough. I think that you guys can produce a remake. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And they said, do you want to keep your job? And I was like, not really. And they said, it doesn't matter. You're going to do it anyway.
Okay.
So we are stuck with the fact that we need to remake Videodrome.
Okay.
So Natasha,
I'm up for it.
let's hear what you've got to tell the people. Are you directing this one?
I am not directing this. I'm taking a backseat to direction on this one.
You saw it and we're just like, out of my wheelhouse.
Right. Out of my interest. I don't want to. So I'm gonna produce it and just not care about what's happening. And it's gonna make me all the money.
All right. Let's hear what you got.
Okay. I am going to be getting the directors, the Coen brothers.
Okay. You're doing the Coen
I'm
brothers.
gonna do the Coen brothers. Taking a little bit of a different direction.
Okay.
With that, what's his name?
Max?
Max. I wanted to say Matt. Max's character is going to be John Malkovich, because he is probably the only other person that plays an asshole creep,
Okay.
as well as Hades. John James Woods.
James Woods. Did you hear Hades while watching the movie at all?
No, and I haven't for a while.
Because he's not up here,
Right,
and everything. So
he's kind of just a normal person. Hades will be my only fangirl moment of James Woods.
Okay.
For Bianca, nope. For Nikki's character, yeah, I put down who they remind me of in my notes, but not their actual name.
Oh, okay.
Just have like the wrong person's name. I have Kate Hudson playing Nikki.
Okay.
Like a now Kate Hudson.
Okay. I don't see it, but I'm not the one producing this one. Is there so you just saw Nikki's character? It was like Kate Hudson. Like, is there a reason to it?
There's something about her attitude that gives me Kate Hudson vibes.
Okay.
There's something about the two of them that kind of like pair off of each other. I think she'd be a good replacement. And then the only other person that I did was the hacker that works with Max.
Harlan.
What's his name?
Harlan, the pirate.
Harlan. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's the pirate.
For that character, the pirate, I have Richard Ayoade from the IT Crowd.
Oh, okay. That's a pocket pull. Okay, I can see that.
I love that guy. I mean, it would be cool to see him do like a little like bad guy,
little sinister,
yeah,
little sinister Richard Ayoade.
Right? Because he's so sweet and nerdy. And
when you said that name, I thought Takai Waititi.
Oh,
and I was like,
not quite.
What? Oh, yeah, from the IT Crowd. All right, so that's your casting.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So for me, I'm keeping it in the family. My director is going to be Brandon Cronenberg because I don't think. Hey, I didn't say that I was directing this one, so I feel that it's not cheating.
Fair. You just essentially want a new version of the same thing.
Yeah, I want the new Flesh. What the fuck? Like, come on, the new Flesh edition. Max is going to be played by Tom Hiddleston, Loki.
Okay.
Because like he can kind of give that like kind of slimy kind of feel a little bit, but like he's sexy like James Woods.
Yeah, I get that. See, that's the thing. Like, he is sexy, but James Woods is far from it. He's just sleazy.
James Woods is a walking Marlboro pack, okay? And what's more sexy in the 80s than a pack of Marlboro Reds?
I like that you specified in the 80s.
Yes. So we're not in the 80s anymore, so we can't get sexy James Woods. We need Tom Hiddleston. Nikki is I'm going to basically ape what they did, where they had Debbie Harry from Blondie play it, and I'm going to cast Lady Gaga to play that role. And she has been acting and stuff, and I like that kind of juxtaposition that Cronenberg did with having her in that part.
I almost picked her to be my
Max,
my Nikki.
Yeah, that's who I'm casting. So, and then Harlan, our pirate in the film, I've got Daniel Radcliffe.
What?
As the role.
Okay.
Have you not seen anything Daniel Radcliffe has done since Harry Potter?
No, I have not.
I assumed as much. He's a really good dramatic actor. And I think that he could kind of do that, like, we can trust him. He's got like this charisma and
Harry
stuff.
Potter.
And then like it's like, oh wait, there's something off here. And then Barry Convex. I am hiring Javier Bardem. Oh, you don't know Javier Bardem? God damn it. Now I'm going to have to show you who that is in a little bit. But he's just, you've seen Mother, right?
Yeah.
He's the husband in Mother and stuff. So he's just got that, like, I don't trust this guy kind of attitude to him and stuff. And that's Leslie Carlson, the guy that plays Barry Convex in this movie. The moment I see him, I'm just like, don't trust this guy. No. Bad guy. Bad guy.
The movie doesn't even have to start, but you already know that he's going to be the bad guy.
This is our bad guy. But yeah, so that's what I've got coming out this year from Pod of the Dead Productions, even though we were forced to make these films, I guess.
I guess. Gotta do what we gotta do, man.
I quit. God damn it. I don't want to remake Videodrome. Like, I can't understand how it was made. Like,
that's true. Would you set it, now that we're talking about like how you mentioned that James Wood was hot for the 80s, would you set it in the 80s or would you set it modern time with your cast?
I don't even know how you would set it as modern time. It would have to be something that's dark web-esque, and it would just become something completely different. The thing that makes Videodrome is it's in the 80s. It's pirating signals and stuff. It's very much the physical aspect of it. So like if it was to be remade for a modern audience nowadays and everything, it would be so much about digital and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm like, I wouldn't want to remake this, like, because it is a time capsule, all of the cigarettes, so many cigarettes. For every cigarette, there is a stomach pussy in this film.
Jesus. It's a stomach vagina. I came up with it first. You stole my name.
That abdomen gash.
Yeah, I think in this, when we were watching the special features, they kept referring to it as the stomach slit.
Yes, the stomach slit.
Which also isn't a good name.
Don't pussyfoot around. It's a fucking gaping belly gooch.
Call it what it is.
Yeah, belly gooch. All hail the belly gooch. So, with all that being said, do you have anything else you want to talk about before we get into it? You do?
I think so.
You think you got something?
I had something written down. Oh, that there were multiple endings to this movie. And it wasn't, first off, the movie wasn't even finished toward the ending of it. He was still writing the movie as it was being
the
filmed,
screenplay was actually never finished.
which is crazy to think. And then I think there were like 3 endings that Cronenberg had kind of just had ideas for, and they let James Woods pick which one he wanted.
See, what I
Which I thought
heard,
was cool.
what I heard was of the possible endings, the one that they picked was the one that James Woods came up with.
Oh,
So
that's even cooler.
I don't know which of those are true, but that's what I'd heard. Yeah, there are multiple endings, and James Woods had something to do with it.
Yeah. I have that the ending used for the film was James Woods' idea.
Okay.
So I guess it just depends on how you interpret. I interpreted it as he picked that one,
That-
not that it was his, just because I didn't realize he was a writer.
I have no idea. I can't think, like, because I remember we watched this and you were like, I wish that that Jeff Goldblum was in this. You wanted Jeff Goldblum.
I did.
But like we said, or well, like I said, I can't see anybody playing Max in this era and everything that isn't James Woods, because he just kind of embodies that like TV producer that is just looking for more violence and more nudity. And he just has this like, there's a shadiness to James Woods.
As a person.
Yeah, like he literally just kind of has that feel to him. And yeah, it just kind of goes that route. And this movie, like when I was talking about this movie did something to me at a young age, it it took me behind the baseball field and it touched me in the heart.
Heart?
No.
Okay.
But no, like seriously, I think that this movie is the reason for my, I don't want to say obsession, but my taste in surreal films and psychosexual imagery in films. Like, I don't think about it. I'm just like, that's cool. That's weird. That's neat. And then like, I just keep pulling the string until it gets to the end. And at the end of it is a fucking pulsating Betamax tape. And it just says Videodrome. And I'm like, oh yeah. Okay.
This is your jam.
This is, oh god damn it. No wonder.
Oh boy. 10 years old.
Yeah, I was 10. I think 10 to 12.
Jesus.
This is before middle school. I know getting into middle school that I had seen Videodrome.
Wow. Where were our parents?
They were smoking, playing euchre, talking about how cool James Woods is. Obviously. I mean, that's where I would have been in the early to mid 90s.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into spoiler territory and everything,
Mhm.
right? We don't want to ruin the film, but we do want to let the listeners that haven't had this movie spoiled, we want to let them know what we think of this film, right? So we're going to give our scores and we're going to give some pros and cons. And the pros and cons are going to be after the spoiler warning. So we can openly talk about those things. But have it known, we're going to give you our scores. There'll be a little break and everything. So if this is your first time listening, hello, welcome. We are Bot of the Dead, the internet horror film club that nobody asked for. What that means is at the end of every episode, we give out homework for the following week so you can watch the movie, come back, and listen to the next week's episode without it being spoiled. That being said, though, Natasha,
Yes.
we have talked about our thoughts on this film a little bit before recording today. So I know what you're giving this movie. I believe, because we did watch stuff after we talked about it. So what do you give this movie?
Give it a 2.5.
Jesus
Nick.
fucking Christ.
Solid 2.5. And I mean, like you said, you didn't know what I was going to score it. And that's a whole 0.5 point higher than what we talked about earlier.
That's so low. Get out of my house.
You invite me over.
You watch this film, now get out.
I speak my mind.
Yeah, women should never speak their mind. This is what happens. They give Videodrome 2.5s.
It's because you don't like it.
Yeah, that's why men get mad about anything women say. It's just because they don't like it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm giving this movie a 10. You okay over there?
Good. No, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, it's 10 out of 10.
Okay.
I can't figure out a reason why to not give it a 10, especially since it's my father, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's so ingrained in me. I didn't know it. I've been searching so long to find this out about myself, and
You know what, Nick? I think we're in the simulation. I think this is all. I think that's why you don't remember watching it.
Oh God, did we accidentally watch Videodrome? And now
So I think you did.
everything from here on out has been a hallucination?
Possibly.
Oh my God, are you a hallucination?
I think so.
Thank fucking God. All right. From here on out, we're going to get into it. So, long live the flesh, the new flesh, as it were, the new flesh, the 2023, 2027 new flesh. I don't know what year it is.
Just meet in the middle.
Yeah, somewhere in
25.
there. We've been drinking and stuff a lot tonight, so this is going to be interesting. So anyway, we are going to talk about Videodrome from 1983.
If you'd like to be part of our horror film club, make sure to follow us at Instagram, Threads, and Facebook at Pod of the Dead. All of our episodes can be found at podofthedeadorelse.com or wherever you stream music and podcasts. If you have movie recommendations or questions for us, email us at podofthedead666@gmail.com. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Or else.
All right. With all that being said, let's give our pros and cons first, or do you want to do the reviews like we usually do?
Let's do the reviews like we usually do.
All right. Natasha, give me that 10 out of 10 that you wrote.
Dude, remember that 2.5 score, right?
I cannot believe, I don't think
you can.
I cannot believe, no, this is what I'm saying. We have never had a movie that we have been so widely different.
Really?
That's a 7.5 point swing.
But I'm sure I wish I could remember what I had scored The Fly, but The Fly's got to be low on my end and very high on your end also.
You're going to have to go back, guys, and tell us
Please
what that
do.
is. But yeah, there's no 7.5. I've never given a movie a 10 that you have given this low.
Okay.
I give 10s out like they're fucking on sale. Like, I love this film. I watched it and I gave it a 9, and then I was just like, why? No, it's 10. That's it. That's all that happened.
Just one question. Fold
Why
like a
not? Yeah,
house of
10.
cards.
I have 2 scores. 10 and 1. That's it.
All right. Well, here's your 10. James Woods plays a scuzzy, low-life TV producer, the kind of character he plays exceptionally well and that you've come to love from his prior performances in films like Salvador.
There you go. That's all you gotta say, baby.
Who gets hooked on watching a pirate snuff film channel, but soon he discovers everything is not as it seems to be, and that the transmission wasn't broadcast at all, but actually a tape that brainwashes him into acting. My computer. Tape that brainwashes him into acts of self-mutilation on his body. Soon, he finds that he can hardly even control himself or his body. A great first film with terrific performances from the 3 leads. Steps up a gear or 2 in the second half. A highly creepy and original movie that just gets weirder and weirder. Highly recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, why wouldn't you want a weird movie? Come on.
It's just not my jam.
Goddamn.
I like weird, but not that. That's not my kind of weird.
What is your kind of weird?
That's a great question. Maybe I don't like weird.
I was going to say, please then do explain. What do you like that's weird? Well, there was this Hallmark movie this one time. I thought it was really weird that it wasn't 7 hours long. I wanted it to be 7 hours long.
So true.
It was about this doctor that gave all of his money away to orphans every year, and I just found that to be so endearing and so believable. That's every Hallmark Christmas film.
Gotcha. You watch more than I do.
I have to. I live in a house full of women that love Hallmark Christmas films.
See, and I was thinking that they were all, not that storyline, but all like small town bakery owner goes to a competition.
That as well, but there's always a doctor there that gives all his money to orphans.
So that could be a side story.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Anyway.
1 out of 10. I do not condone these words.
I can't wait to hear them come out of your mouth.
Let me get the voice. I saw this film in the theater when it was first run. Okay, first off, it was cut up a lot. Okay, so let's take that into consideration here. I don't remember why I decided to pay admission for it, but I've regretted it ever since.
She's holding on to it.
Jesus Christ. And she was like scrolling through and saw Videodrome, and she's like, hold my knitting sticks or whatever the fuck this lady does. Knitting sticks? Is that what? Needles?
Knitting.
I don't fucking know.
What? Knitting needles.
Yeah.
That's fun. You should say that.
Knitting sticks. I am now writing a review of this movie because earlier today I was in a conversation with someone where we were discussing the worst movies that were made with a decent sized budget.
She felt triggered and needed to write a review.
Quick to the internet.
Yes, I have a thought.
Must make people hear it. I have thought of this question before, and my number one movie fitting this qualification is Videodrome. It truly stinks. I remember after the first half hour of the film, I considered leaving the theater and doing anything else. But I thought, that is a punishment for my moment of stupidity. I should stay until the end credits. Painfully, I watched the whole film. It really blows. It truly sucks. So this thing both blows and sucks.
And stings.
Oh, man. They got a lot of words to say.
Yeah.
And I wonder, so like this person, you're right. So this person held on to this grudge since 1983 until IMDb existed and wrote this review.
Yeah.
30 years easy. What?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It like personally offended that person.
Yeah, like
it's like a core memory.
They like got home and the fucking Betamax from this movie was strangling their dad while like having sex with their mom or something like that. And it was just like a core memory for them.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's exactly.
It's gotta be.
Wow.
There's no other.
What
there's
a memory.
No other explanation.
I often think about how movies like this get made and how things like that can be in people's minds. And then I just have a conversation with you and go, oh, it's pretty normal.
Oh, you have to be severely damaged. That's how you do it.
That's it.
No, and I still, though, like we were watching this and I was just like, how the fuck do you come up with these things? And what's more surprising is obviously the ideas were there. Like the whole thought process or the mythos, whatever you want to say, where it's like the script wasn't finished, but there were bullet points. Like, you know, like we knew that we needed to get from point A to point B. The dialogue might not be there and everything, but still the idea of like, okay, let's go through this. The gun to hand morphing.
Yeah.
So Cronenberg does a lot of stuff that's like, it's visual metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I look at it as the thing of like, you know, the instrument of death and the person no longer being different. They're the same thing. Therefore, they are one. And you're looking at me like I'm fucking selling you a bag of shit. Like,
I just, it's so funny that you can draw a metaphor and I just watch it and go, what the fuck is happening right now?
Well, no, like
a hand and a gun. What is going on?
Well, no, because it starts off, the film talks about, you know, like you're peddling all this violence and softcore pornography, you know, like why? And it's this whole thing of just, you know, better it be on screen than in the real life and all this stuff. And it toys around with the idea of desensitization and stuff like that. So in my head, it's like the idea of him and the weapon being one and inseparable in his mind, because when we're seeing that stuff, that it's his hallucination, but then you're also seeing reality where he's running around with a gun in his hand and stuff like that. So in his head, it's just, he is this instrument of destruction for Videodrome.
Nice.
And then against Videodrome.
Yep.
So
all while Videodrome has consumed him And so he is Videodrome for Videodrome.
Well,
and
he's
against Videodrome.
He's an assassin for Videodrome. That's what they tell him. Right?
I do remember that at one point.
Yeah. He's an assassin.
Yeah.
It's the 80s. Everybody's an assassin. You're a ninja, or you're an assassin, or
You're a ninja assassin.
exactly. There it is. But so you got, like, I think that's the metaphor they're trying to get there. Let's talk about the other metaphor in the room.
So he has this man hard hand, and then he has a vagina on his stomach.
He got belly pussy.
He's got a vagina stomach.
He's got a vagina stomach and a dick hand.
Yeah, exactly. and then the dick. Oh, wow.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's
and
a lot
the
of
hand is going into the stomach to either get the weapon or to seemingly put the weapon away.
I'm gonna store this gun in my belly pussy for later.
Yeah,
a sentence that may have never been said before. No, it was said on the set. You know that.
It had to
So
have
James, you're gonna put this gun in your belly pussy. You're gonna hold on to that for later.
Yeah.
Just you wait, because that gun is going to become part of your hand through like some Tetsuo fucking Iron Man fucking melding of flesh and iron tentacles,
but
that you visibly winced at.
I did, and I groaned.
Yeah, I think you literally did go, oh god.
I did, because it was gross. It the body horror stuff is fine if it's static.
Okay.
But when it starts to be acted upon, that crosses the line.
Flapping of the labias of the belly pussy were bothering you.
That bothered me a little bit, but so much more when his hand is actually going in.
Yeah.
And then like holding the gun, had those tendrils like been there. I think when they cut to the one on the top of his wrist.
Yes, you were like, oh god.
Yeah, because that was a painful position. All the other ones, as they're going in, like that was the bit where it's like popping through the skin.
And I think that's the only time. That's the only reason that scene right there was the only reason that I was going to give it a 9. Was because you can tell the hand is fake. But I was like, no, fuck no. Like on a VHS, you're never gonna notice that.
Right, and also for it being 83, like it still looks like it's supposed. It looks like a hand.
Yeah, it looks great.
And it's all done practically, so you're gonna probably see a tear or something.
Yeah.
For that era.
So before we get into this too much, let's get into our pros and cons real quick. So that's going to definitely stimulate some stuff.
Yeah.
So your pros are the acting.
Yeah, I had no qualms with anybody in this movie. I felt like they were who they were supposed to be. That wasn't a problem.
Yeah, that they feel like they are their characters.
Yeah.
No one seems to be overacting or underacting or anything. It feels very believable.
Yeah, which is interesting to say because a lot of this, especially like Debbie Harry, where she's really emoting or really like being the seductress, and it didn't seem forced.
Yeah, like it feels very, what's the word? Like it feels like what do they call that? Like a honey trap. Like,
yeah.
Come to me, Max. Come to me.
She's like a siren.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Also, you said the setting, I believe.
Yeah. The setting, just the time frame, the era that we had talked as it was happening about like his apartment entryway.
Oh, dude, that fucking apartment rips so hard.
The style of like well-to-do 80s people.
Yeah. And I think they're in Toronto.
Oh yeah, they're in Toronto. You're right.
They're in Toronto, and then he ends up going down to Pittsburgh.
Which I could not keep that straight. When he was in Pittsburgh versus when he was home, it seemed like they started to melt together.
I think it's because it was all shot in Toronto.
Because I thought for like easily the last 2/3 of the movie, he was in Pittsburgh.
This is Pittsburgh.
I thought he went to a different studio.
A different Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I was confused.
This is Pittsburgh 2.
So that part I didn't really care about setting wise, but I liked just the aesthetic of the 80s.
Your cons, body horror.
Yep.
Not a fan of body horror?
2 thumbs down.
When can we ever find a body horror film that Natasha likes?
We have yet to do that.
So we're going to just keep doing, this is now the body horror podcast.
Let's find a good body horror for Natasha. I don't think it exists.
I really don't think, like, since your take on the substance,
Yeah.
if the substance didn't do it for you, I don't know if any body horror film will do it for you. That's not going to stop me bringing body horror films to the podcast. Because
what if I said I loved this movie so much?
You already gave your score, bitch.
And all. Can't watch another. There's no way to top it. We're done.
You already gave your score, bitch.
God damn it. Maybe I had a change of heart. With you saying we had to watch more.
Maybe my belly vagina changed its mind.
Oh my God.
All right. Another con. It's from the 80s. What the fuck does that mean?
It's kind of contradictory to my first one. But aside from the setting and the look of it, the content,
Okay.
I didn't really enjoy.
What do you mean by content?
Like the TV quality, the odd, like, slow pace of
The movie itself,
The
like
movie
an 80s
itself.
style film.
yeah,
Okay.
the not having much of a score, oddly enough.
It's lots of.
Yeah, I noticed it, and lately I haven't been noticing really the scores or like the music really at all. But this, I noticed the absence of it in a
Okay.
lot of scenes, so I think that just made it seem even slower.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then I really have a problem with your last con here. It just says it's Cronenberg.
exactly. That I could have just put that for my pros in general,
I'm surprised
or
that
for my cons in general.
I'm surprised that you did put, like, it's Cronenberg, bitch. Because that's one of my pros. It's Cronenberg, bitch.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm not a fan. We've watched
of David Cronenberg.
David Cronenberg. Yes, I like his son
Yes.
because, I mean, at least the only movie I know that he has done.
Yeah, we'll be covering Possessor in the future, which is
Okay.
another one of his films.
But Infinity Pool is nice. and-
It's nice. I've watched that movie. It is not nice. James!
It's a good kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It's a good horror.
It's
movie.
unsettling. But that's the
Yeah.
thing. This movie's unsettling too.
But it's not.
Well, it's unsettling. I think the line that it crosses with you is, like, your visual unsettling line is way the fuck back here.
Okay.
You know, so, like, the fact that there's, like, belly pussy, you're just like, no.
Right.
We have gone too far. And it's just like,
it does get comical.
it's like, Natasha, this movie is, like, all about sex and violence. You're like, not in this house. No belly pussies in this house.
And it's not that I get offended. It's just
You were so prudish. You were sitting over there in a prairie dress and bonnet.
eating porridge, going, "Oh boy,
Oh, bother.
oh my goodness!" And no, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but giggle when his handgun, which I love, that's what they kept calling
Yeah.
it, because it's not just a handgun, it's a hand that's a gun.
Yeah.
That's also a hand.
And kind of a spiny penis. Oh,
Yeah.
that takes me back. The handgun that we see in this film was a toned down version because Rick Baker brought one to the set that literally looked like a dick with lips.
Oh my God.
So the psychosexual stuff is, like, on purpose.
It
Like,
abounds. Yeah, I lost my train of thought after thinking about that. Oh, but yeah, when he, like, flings the thing out and it's all, like, cancerous and gross, I laughed. So
Yeah.
stuff like that isn't unsettling to me. It's not
Well,
like, ew, it's
that's where, like, the absurdity of it, like, hits. And, like, someone laughs at that kind of stuff, it doesn't bother me because I'm like, yeah, that fucking is insane. You know, like, I never watched this film and was like, oh my God, that's so scary. I'm always like, what the fuck? And I'm here for that.
and I ask that as a question, not so much as a exclamation of how cool it is.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just not for me.
All right. What pros and cons did I throw down?
What did you say? Your one and only con is that you haven't seen it in theaters.
Yeah, I would love to see this in theaters. I don't want to see the theatrical cut though. I
Uh-huh.
didn't know that before writing that. But yeah, The only con is that I was negative 2 years old when this came out.
Oh man. Maybe you'll get your day one of these days.
Maybe.
Your pros include the sound effects. It's funny that
the special
the
effects.
special effects.
SFX special effects are amazing.
Yeah.
The pulsating like I can't. If you haven't seen this movie and you're listening right now, we're not helping you at all.
No. Whatever you have in your head is not going to be anything close to what you're going to see.
No, this is a visual. Like, I am a slut for practical effects. In this movie, like I said, I haven't seen this movie in probably 15 years. I forgot how bombastic it gets. Like, I remembered the belly vagina. I remembered the handgun. I remembered the TV being super involved, but I did not remember how unsettling the pulsating like top of the television, how much that screen stretches and stuff.
Impressive.
It's really cool, and that's all done there. Like, it's all rear projected and all this shit, and they had to fucking fight someone for $300 to do this one extra thing. Shit's fucking cool.
And I think for that TV, they had to make it like 7 times before it actually worked.
That's crazy.
That in and of itself, of taking 7 full-size TVs, doing whatever you have to do, the work that it would take just to do one, let alone having to completely redo it.
Well, and there were scenes that they were like, oh, we're going to submerge this TV and have it come out of the bathtub. And they made this fully waterproof TV so someone didn't die. And then the day that they were going to shoot it, they're like, we're not doing that. It's just like all that work. Like,
so much.
It's crazy.
So the special effects of the tone.
Yeah, the surrealness of it. Like, because we were talking after watching this where it's like, so where does reality break? When is this a hallucination?
Right.
Because that's the whole point of the film, is like, once Videodrome happens, then hallucinations abound. David Cronenberg says that the hallucinations, like from this point forward, it's like all hallucinations is when he goes to the optical place.
Oh.
That's how late in the film it's basically all hallucination. Well, not all, but like that's where it goes hard in the paint and stuff like that. And I just have a feeling that it's way earlier than that.
Yeah. Because I wonder if that's why they lingered in that weird, like, extra beat up top or in like the main eyeglass area. Because that felt weird how they made like a special point to talk about the glasses not fitting his face.
Yeah.
So maybe there is some truth to that being more, that scene being more than what it seems.
Well, and that scene also, though, is the point where he puts on the helmet.
Oh, yeah.
So if with that little information we have, is that point on from the film him hallucinating in that helmet, which is a whole other fucking can of worms. Because that's the thing, is that you can watch this movie. Like, this movie was, I brought this movie to the table specifically because I was like, there's a lot to talk about. And because unless you're going to read up and see what other people think, everyone that watches this film is going to like have kind of a different experience. It's like, so I think this happened, and at this point I think this happened, and every fucking scene is like completely different from other people's perspective, which is kind of the point of the film, because reality is perception, and they talk about all that stuff. And oh man, that's my bread and butter, baby.
It's so much.
It takes me back to like Jacob's Ladder of like, what's going on? Where are we? Like, good stuff, man.
It's definitely worth an extra watch if it's something that you want to try to figure out. But yeah, for it to be that late in the movie, but that does make sense because we never saw the hood after that, or the helmet after that.
No, because at that point, like, the hood disappears and he's like in the torture chamber with Nikki and everything, and then everything just keeps jumping around, and we're here and we're there, and kill them and all this stuff. So
because he just wakes up out of nowhere.
Yeah, he wakes. Yeah, because he's whipping the television.
Right. Who's on the screen? His agent?
Yeah, the girl that's going to be his agent. And then he wakes up in bed. And she's tied up in bed, whipped to death. And then he calls Harlan over to take a picture of it, but she's not. So it's just like ratchets the fuck up at that point.
Yeah, and you kind of forget. I forgot because we had talked originally about it being like right at the beginning.
I think it's when he watches the film the first time.
But I think what you said about this scene is also possible, unless it's getting into like some Inception nonsense.
I have no idea.
And we're like 3 layers deep.
Possibly.
Okay, back to your list.
Okay.
It's under 2 hours.
Hell yeah.
So is this a movie that you wouldn't want it to like? I know there are some movies that we could just watch forever.
It's one of those things that it leaves me wanting more.
Okay, that's for sure.
If it ends, like it ends where it ends, and I'm like, oh man, I could just do this for X amount of time longer and stuff. But like, it leaves me. It's like a great meal. You're like, man, that was so fucking good. I don't want to order another course of it because that's going to cost me a lot of money. But man, I can't wait to come back here and have another fucking Frickers chicken chunks. You know,
so good. All right. You say a pro is that it's from the 80s.
Goddamn right. The 80s, the golden age of practical effects.
Yeah.
You give me fucking the 80s. If I've never seen the film and you tell me it was made in the 80s and it uses practical effects, I'm going to watch it.
Okay. And it's David Cronenberg.
One of the best. One of the fucking best. This motherfucker is like David Lynch style.
Yeah.
Like so much visual, like I used this term earlier and I don't know if it's proper or not, but like visual metaphor. There's so much like visual storytelling of what the fuckness that allows you to dig in deeper on it. And it's great. Like similar to like David Lynch just doing weird nightmare fueled scenes that feel out of place, but what he's showing you is what someone, maybe the viewer, is supposed to feel or whatever. And I just love that kind of stuff. Like that's why I like watching movies, specifically like surreal kind of films, is because that's a narrative device that you can't do in any other medium than video. And this movie leans into the fact it's about video.
Yeah. There's so many different layers. I think this is definitely not my speed on so many fronts where it's going to be fun to talk about. But I feel like I'm such a surface level person that I get like the original, like what you see is what's happening and maybe like a layer deeper. Mm-hmm. So I don't appreciate it for nearly as much as you do, as like picking up on all these imageries and metaphors. And I just go, this guy has a giant hand thing now. What is happening?
Well, he also has...
Just say it.
A stomach pussy. Oh my God. A flappy stomach pussy.
I definitely think this movie is more fun to talk about than it was to watch the first time.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
Because like bringing it to the table for this week and stuff, I was like, I don't think you're gonna like it. I don't think you're gonna give it a 2.5.
Really?
No, I was like maybe like a 4.
Whoa.
5 possibly.
Okay. You have Cronenberg colored glasses on over there.
Goddamn right. And but I was like, without a doubt though, there's so much to talk about. So all right, the long and short of this.
Yeah.
The movie is based around the idea that somebody has made a UHF signal that can be hidden under anything, even a test pattern, which I don't know if you know what a test pattern is, but you know, like where like the TV would be like, and it would just show all that shit and it'd be like, our broadcast day is over. Like we're talking early 80s kind of stuff. They made a UHF signal that is hidden under that they can broadcast out, and it causes brain tumors that then cause people to be, it seems like more easily manipulated.
Yes.
So very telling of its time, coming out in the Reagan era and stuff like that. What they basically did though is they hid it under this snuff film, and that's what they showed James Woods' character Max, because that's what he was looking for. So Harlan
see, even that didn't click.
yeah. Like that's why he had worked there for 2 years to get, you know, Harlan had worked there
for
an
idea of what would grab him.
What's going to get his attention? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And they fucking put this signal underneath it that causes the fucking the Videodrome sickness or disease, as it were. And then from that point forward, it's causing all of these hallucinations that so many of them are like, wait, this is where we get into like Jacob's Ladder territory. Granted, Jacob's Ladder came out like 7 years later, but okay, so is that real? Is that not real? The thing that kept me going, like, okay, this is reality, this isn't hallucination, is he holding a gun?
Right.
Or is he a gun?
Yeah, that's pretty much all you could. And sometimes you didn't know until it was almost over that he's like erratic and going crazy. And then you don't know that something crazy is about to happen even more so. I'm trying to think of I'm cutting ahead a little bit since we're talking about the hallucinations. With the interesting part is when he is hallucinating, but he's still acting on real people.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that part of it's a hallucination, but part of it is in seemingly reality also.
Well, he's reacting to the hallucination. They're reacting to him is how I look at it. So like when he comes into the studio to kill his coworkers and stuff like that, they're reacting to him as if he's just a psycho with a gun, which he is, but like he's on this mission that his hallucination is telling him to go on because, you know, so it's all that kind of thing where we as a viewer are watching both narratives.
Okay, that helps.
We're bouncing between what Max is seeing because, again, reality is perception. So it plays with that throughout the whole film of you're only in this film are you able to perceive everyone else's shared reality and Max's reality post Videodrome. Got it. You got it there?
Kind of.
See, it's all that kind of shit that I love. So, yeah, he basically Max is just going around trying to find something new for his fledgling channel and stuff. He wants something harder. You want tougher. I think that's the word.
Okay.
Everywhere is getting tougher. I want something tougher for this. They have they're trying to find some porn or something. And that's when Harlan shows him this pirated signal that they found and that they cut off. And it's in Pittsburgh and all this stuff. And through this, he ends up meeting Nikki on like a talk show and everything and develops a romantic relationship with her. Oh, wait, she doesn't fucking exist.
Yeah. So did any of that talk show even happen, or was that a simulation that he got thrown into?
Yeah, I think it's alluded to that. So we know that Videodrome, the creators of Videodrome, however you want to say it, are responsible for Nikki's death.
Yeah.
And for Oblivion's death.
Yes.
And those are the two that are on that show.
You're right.
So they projected that to him, thinking that was happening. Like that was a hallucination.
Got it. I'm trying to think if I remember him waking up from that or it like making a hard cut to another scene after that.
After that is like him going to the radio station where she works at and stuff like that and like hitting her up and like they go home and she's like, cut me and all this stuff. And like that, like, that's where we get like into the S&M kind of stuff. She's like, you got any porno? Like very, like if you think about it, she's nonstop feeding to this thing of getting him to watch it again.
Right. And I'm wondering if she is like a caricature of what whoever planted her there thinks that he wants also.
Well, that's that whole idea of like the siren.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
They knew what would bait him the best.
Right. And like he as a person isn't really into like S&M or whatever, but because of what he's seeking out for his job, he then has this almost like AI version of this woman who is like into that and wants porn and wants hardcore because that's what they've seen that he likes.
Yeah. And they're just like pushing it because it's that whole slippery slope of violence and pornography. And what is it? The like sensory, like they talk about that. Like we live in like a sensory overload age where it's not about what it is, but it's about the eliciting the reaction to the sensation. And it's that whole, which is so prevalent. Like that was 83.
Yeah.
We're talking about that stuff still to this day of like social media, fucking iPad kids, whatever. Like it's the same argument that's been had since television was created because Cronenberg was talking about the idea of like, when he was born, televisions didn't exist in the home yet. And there was the big fear of like the radiation from the TV. Will it scramble the kids' brains? Don't sit too close to the television.
Yeah.
I remember that as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sit too close to the television. It'll fuck up your eyes. It'll do this.
Yep.
And that's what this is like, amplifying off of that fear and stuff. Just like, of violent video games make violent kids, violent music. It's that in like its purest nightmare fuel form.
Yeah.
Like this movie is a nightmare. It's not scary because you can feel the separation.
Mm-hmm.
But like if I was high and had never seen this and it just came on, I'd be fucking horrified.
Especially if all of those things plus it's in the 80s.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest component of no matter what, this movie is going to make people think, but I don't think it'll ever be scary now.
Yeah.
Or unsettling now. Because
I don't know.
It's from the 80s.
The unsettling is up for debate because I don't think anybody's ready to see someone fist a belly pussy.
That's also true. I feel assaulted.
Yeah. So, we've got all that going on. Then we've got like, was it Pat O'Brien or Brian Oblivion? That's his name.
Yeah. Pat O'Brien.
Pat O'Brien's a guitar player from Cannibal Corpse.
Oh, all right. Not quite the same guy.
Kinda.
Brian Oblivion.
So his character is really interesting because he's like this. Would you still kind of see today? It's like this like spiritualist tech guy.
Yeah.
And like he only talks through televisions and all this stuff. Later to be found out that he's been dead for like a year and a half, and his daughter is keeping on his memory because he like has transcended his flesh.
It's so culty.
And it's also post-humanism.
Yes.
Like that shit's fucking crazy.
That part was unsettling to me, like the cathode ray ministries or whatever. That bit was, yeah, and I think what you mean by what do you call it?
Post-humanism.
Yeah, that's definitely where like each homeless person has their own TV. Like that's a big thing. It's very dystopian.
Yeah, because their whole thing was that the cathodes that are in the TV, those people will be better for society having been near those things.
Right.
That's so fucking weird.
It's the complete opposite of like the main theme of the movie. The TV hurts you, but the TV is your savior.
Yeah, it's so fucking...
Whoa.
It's so weird.
I like it when we watch movies like this and I am coming to the realization of what this movie is in real time.
It's like a 7 out of 10, maybe.
No, I'm sticking with a 2.5.
That's so fucking horseshit. But yeah, so you got all that going on, and then, the fucking Videodrome cronies, Harlan and Barry are like, all right, we got something for you to watch. They put a fucking tape in his pussy and go ahead.
Yeah, I also don't understand why that is how he's getting his targets.
I think, again, it's visual metaphor. We're seeing it as this like visceral tape going in.
Yeah.
But basically it's no different than brainwashing. He's getting this, whatever it is, implanted in him, into his...
Then why can't it go into his head?
Because it's more visually upsetting to see it in that way. I honestly think. Because otherwise, if it were like, we pop open your brain, it would just be way more comical, I think, or it just wouldn't work as well.
Okay.
So to like see like this, I've got a rash on my stomach. And then before too long, it's literally like this pulsing with his breath. Like, you're like, what the fuck is that? And then he puts the gun in it. And you're like, that's a weird pocket.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
And then we just keep escalating. Now we're going to put a tape in there. And that tape's like pulsating. And then it gets to the point where like the tape is like red fleshiness and stuff. All of that, I think, is just a visual metaphor of they are brainwashing him and planting new ideas into him.
Huh.
Like, yeah, like it's upsetting. Like realistically, like if you think about it, it is visually upsetting, but
it's visually and auditorily.
You'll
upsetting.
Never 2.5. You'll never fucking forget this movie.
No, I won't. But that doesn't necessarily give it points.
Yeah, it does.
I won't remember it for
I think
good reasons.
You gave this a better score than Terrifier 2, right?
I'm sure I did.
You better have. I
Yeah.
fucking swear to God.
I think I gave Terrifier 2 a 1.
Okay.
I would be shocked at myself. I would be disappointed in my past self if I gave it more than that. I read that in that scene where Max is like laying up onto the couch when he's like sticking the gun in his stomach slit. There's just no good name for it.
Yeah, it's the belly pussy. It comes off the tongue real easily.
That he was sewn into that couch, and all the practical effects were done from people like under the couch.
Okay.
I can't quite remember all of it, but just the idea that like he was fixed where he was to get everything done the way it needed to be.
I think everything below his like pecs is fake.
Okay, that would make sense.
So he's sitting there like at an angle, like a 90-degree angle, but his body is at a like sloping, like slouching thing. And then, like you're kind of pulled back, and then all these hands are over top of you doing these things for the belly pussy.
And you're just watching what is your torso, but not your torso moving.
Yeah, I love that shit.
That's so crazy. It reminds me of like the blow up creatures where it's like the alien.
Yeah.
You're the feet.
Yeah, you're just the feet or whatever. You're the feet of the alien,
That's
but
where
the
they
head
got
of the
it.
body. Yeah.
Yeah, they got it from this movie.
No, the Videodrome got it from the inflatable aliens.
Okay.
Yeah, David Cronenberg's been like ripping off inflatable alien costumes
For
forever.
years.
And we are here to stop that.
Does he still make movies?
Yeah, he actually had a movie come out this year, or is coming out this year, called The Shrouds.
Oh.
Yeah, his last one came out in 2024, Crimes of the Future.
Okay.
And it's like this whole, I think Viggo Mortensen's in it.
Oh.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
But it's like this whole thing of like people growing extra body parts for
Come
people.
on.
He's not giving it up yet. He has never given it up.
Okay.
He's never given it up. I've not seen it, but I'm aware of it.
Gotcha.
But so we keep moving on. What else happens in this fucking movie?
It's just him, a lot of in and out from his stomach pussy.
There you go. She said it. She said the word.
Stomach vagina. It's pulling in and out of that multiple times. That's like the main thing I remember from this movie. I hate to say it, is just the long scenes of things coming in and out of his abdomen.
Yeah, but like it's one of those things of, again, I feel very pretentious saying like visual
It's a
metaphor.
visual, but you're gonna say it again.
But like at the end of the day, it's like, you know, ideas coming in and out of your mind. If you take the camera back further, your mind's just part of your body. So what difference is it if an idea is coming into your body one way or another? You got that?
Got it.
you were like, what?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, and I don't get that from this movie.
You don't get it? Like, I mean, I didn't watch it the first time and just go like, got it.
At 10,
You know what
could you imagine? You at
I don't
10,
have to imagine.
like,
I lived it.
fixing your glasses.
I didn't
Got
wear.
it.
I didn't wear glasses then.
I know.
It wasn't until I realized how much I love this film that my eyesight went, and then I had to get glasses. That's just how it works. So the ending of this film, right? You said like it left you wanting more.
I didn't like it. Yeah.
You didn't like the nihilistic kind of ending to it.
No. It just seemed just rushed at that point. I felt like it was all for nothing at that rate.
Okay.
You know, like how she mentioned it I think had we not heard Nikki's character say like what you had to do was die to then kill it.
Yeah.
It made it seem like there's another step and we don't get to see that step.
Yeah. I do think that it probably could have been done a little better instead of seeing him shoot himself in the head on the television for the gore explosion of sheep intestines that are rotting for days and days and days.
In a trash bag.
Green trash bag from the butcher shop across the street.
Why it had to be a green trash bag? They specified that multiple times.
Well, I mean, when you're carrying around a bag of sheep intestines and then you have to smell it, you probably remember what the receptacle looked like. But it's one of those things where, okay, let's say we cut the visuals of him on the television. Well, then you don't get that scene of him shooting himself and the shit blowing out of it and it happening to him. And then he just relives what is happening there. I don't know a better way to do it, to get the point across that he wanted to, whatever that point may be. But I think the end all be all of it is the only way to transcend past this is to kill yourself.
Gotcha. So there's no way out. You can beat it by dying.
Correct. But
Okay.
but it's not that you can beat it. It's at the next stage to transcend past this. The whole thing of like long live the new flesh is you have to kill the old you to be reborn into the new you.
But what's the new you? Is that you in the TV?
Possibly, because like that was the whole thing that they were talking about, was like the Videodrome guys were like, you know, you are the synthesis of both film and or both television and
Right.
TV and all, which that shit goes like way beyond my understanding of what they're trying to get across and say.
Good. Me too. Because most of the time when Oblivion was talking, I did my damnedest to pay attention, but I had no idea.
It's so
what he was talking
archaic and stuff, how he's talking and very like verbose and everything.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? And then he's just like, and then the video ends.
Click. Yeah.
What? I just wanted a pizza. So yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, we kind of we got belly pussy.
That's
We got handgun. We didn't talk about
hand grenade.
hand grenade. Yeah, because you were like, that's not what bones look
Yeah.
like.
I didn't understand what they were trying to do with that. Once again, how? So he stuck his hand in to give the tape.
It's
to
all
give the-
hallucination.
I understand that. But in real life, in reality, that was a hard word to say. In reality, he dies.
Yeah.
He gets blown up.
We think.
He
He could have
James
just been
Woods ends up
shot.
walking through the wall.
We think.
Okay. God damn it.
Right? Like
Okay.
he's walking, and then like when he's walking through that door, do you notice that everyone he's walking by is just carrying doors and
Yeah.
stuff? Like it's fucking really like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why a fucking stick hand grenade from like World War One?
Exactly.
Why not? It's fucking weird.
Okay.
Because like that's the thing. Like I understand that like that's not an excuse for it, but when we are talking about hallucinations,
Right.
trying to fully understand them, at the end of the day, James Woods' character went there and killed him.
Yeah.
Everything beyond that, it doesn't matter because it's just the hallucination
Okay.
of it. And then just like that, when he goes to kill Barry, was it Convex
Mhm.
on stage and stuff, he just shoots him. Now,
Right.
what we don't like, what we see at that point is his fucking skull cracking open with like all this cancerous stuff pushing
Yeah.
out and everything. That's all hallucination.
How do we know that though? Isn't that also the Videodrome? Like he's a part of that?
Yeah, but he's
So
also,
is he full of cancer?
well, that's what they talk about with like the whole thing of like the
Right.
signal gives that. So, but we're also believing that the Videodrome's real. This could easily,
Oh my god.
yeah, this is a whole
Oh
nother,
man.
this could just be a guy that's got a brain tumor that's losing his fucking mind killing people.
This is like I am the cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, in a much more demented form.
Yeah, I am the belly pussy. Right?
Look at my gun.
Look at my gape.
Man.
Okay. So, you got anything else you want to talk about with this film now that I've subjected you to it?
Just one more special effects thing that I thought was funny. When he had to put on the hood where they said that they were going to like record his
Hallucination. I
hallucinations.
love the idea of that.
Yeah, that's a really creepy scene when it's dark and you just see this giant thing on his
I
face.
love that hood. Can I have that here, please? Anybody want to send me that hood?
Make it happen. But he had a stunt double for that scene because Cronenberg and James Woods were afraid that he was going to get electrocuted
Oh shit!
with that helmet on. So he has a stunt double specifically for that.
That they
scene.
didn't care if he got
Right.
electrocuted.
He was like, I'll do it.
Sure.
Pay me
fucking-
well. I'm a stunt double.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that movie, like that scene is possibly my favorite. Like when they strap it on and then Convex is like, well, I'm not going to stick around, you know, I don't want to be here when it gets weird. It's like,
Yeah.
that's so, like, you just strapped me down. Like, you've been telling me that I have been subjected to some fucking crazy ass signals. It's giving me hallucinations and stuff. Now you're gonna strap this onto me and you're gonna record my what? Oh,
How?
you're leaving?
Yeah.
What? He deserved to be shot.
Here, yeah. Or was he even there?
Yeah.
Because then he just wakes up at his house.
Yeah, because like I am in the school that I think most of the film after he just sees Videodrome is fake. It's hallucinations, most of, not all. And then once he puts that hood on, it's 100% hallucination from that point forward.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like he's still sitting in that optics place by the end of the film.
Yeah.
So that's the thing where it's like, you know, where he blows his brains out or whatever. It's like, no, that didn't happen. That's the end of the hallucination. Maybe that cured him then because he's the only person that's lived this long and everything with that, you know, so. It's
like the opposite of a dream. You have to kill yourself to then.
The only way out is through.
Yeah.
That whole idea.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
That's another way to look at the movie. I don't like it. It's too many.
You want to watch again?
No.
Oh, you want me to put it on so you can go night-night?
I don't think I'd be able to with all like the squeaky, or not squeaky. Yeah. Flapping, wet.
Yeah.
No.
And sexy James Woods.
He's not. Never.
Looks like a Marvel pack covered in sandpaper.
It's such a big forehead.
Goddamn right he does. All right. So you give it a 2.5.
I stick with that.
I give it a 10.
Yep. That's what you did.
So what's that give us?
Oh, we're doing math.
And we're no longer we broke our score, our scoring with Nosferatu.
Yeah.
We both capped out on 10s on that. So we're not going to use IMDb anymore for our aggregate. We're just going to go straight up, you and I. So 2.5 and a 10. What's that give us?
63.
You're more than likely going to like this movie.
Disagree with that statement wholeheartedly.
I think it's a fair statement. I think if you go into this knowing it's an 80s horror film, goddamn, you just don't like 80s horror films.
Not even that. If you know it's an 80s Cronenberg horror film.
And who doesn't know about Cronenberg, baby?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know about it and then you're not going to want to watch it.
If you saw
But if you were going into this just as an 80s horror movie, you're going to most likely get a bigger pool of people that will like it less.
I don't think so.
Really?
I really don't think so.
You think if you just throw out, I'm very curious.
Yeah.
Listeners, please. 80s horror movie, does this fit that bill?
Oh, 100%. When you go into an 80s horror film, what's the number one thing you expect?
Not body horror.
Special effects.
Okay.
Crazy ass special effects. The Thing, Videodrome, The Fly. Granted, those are all body horror ass.
Exactly. Think of something outside
Friday
of that.
the 13th. Great special effects.
Yeah.
Day of the Dead, great special effects. Like all of that's the thing that brings the boys to the yard. is
special effects in any type of context.
Yeah, kind of. Because the narrative can be garbage. Look at a lot of the Friday the 13th movies. What's great, though? Jason punching someone's head off, literally. I'm here for it. That movie can be straight dog shit dildos, and I'm still going to watch it because that fucking happened. You know, like that's what you're there for. It's kind of the same reason, like why people like Terrifier, right?
Yeah.
My thing is just it's too long, and they're like the plot is like just not interesting to me.
Right.
And the violence I've seen. So it doesn't do anything for me. You gotta entice me with something there, right?
There needs to at least be a good story with it.
And if you like Terrifier, that's on you. Good for you, right? It's not for me, but I also saw Videodrome when I was 10.
Right. Let's not forget that.
I am a deeply damaged person. So yeah. So next week, homework time.
Okay.
We are going to be watching The Collector.
Nice.
Okay, so this is going to be a new one to both of us.
Yep.
I think the next couple, that one and the one after, are going to be new to us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's streaming anywhere or anything like that. But this one I have heard about for a while. I know the cover of it very well. I just have never seen it.
It will be, I think there's a paywall, but Amazon Prime, Tubi, Pluto, Crackle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. So that is what we will be watching for next week. So everybody get ready to watch The Collector. All right.
Aye.
All right. For Pot of the Dead, I am Nicholas.
And I am Natasha.
Come back and listen to us, or else.